Yeah, I'm sure we might need to sing it.
Because we got so full of that. About what? That's okay. But you look great. And then I do outfit. That wasn't funny. That's right. That's pushing. It was pushing.
What?
24.
No, Paul. No. Don't call me Paul.
Rex is more
Really?
Is there, who's MC? Did you guys say? Okay.
College football player. It's a golf cart village. Where all the pilots out of their golf course, their cart path, so it's legal to drive them off from. Home for me. I live 30 minutes from home. I've got 80 acres. They're 3 hours away, so I've got a farm that I can go to with 2 houses already.
guys are all getting settled and we're getting ready. My name is Mrs. Wall and I'm from Humphreys High School and I teach music there. This is our choir. And they're here for today to sing the anthem scenario. And we're going to do a little warm-up, so we hope you enjoy our warm-up. It's called Nothing Gonna Stumble Our Feet.
I've been walking with the Lord for many a day. Nothing gonna stumble my feet. Trying to abide in the straight and narrow way. Nothing gonna stumble my feet. But when my time on earth is done, and I hear my name, and I hear my name. Oh, when my time on earth is done, these weary feet are gonna run. Not gonna stammer, not gonna trip, not gonna stumble. No, I'm not gonna slip. No, nothing gonna stumble my feet when I go to walk that golden street.
Now the devil is a liar,
And a cheater too. Nothing gonna stumble my feet.
and if he gets his way,
He'll make a slider out of you. Nothing gonna stumble my feet. But if you listen for the Spirit's voice, in a moment of truth, moment of truth. Oh, if you listen for the Spirit's voice, He'll help you make the right choice. Not gonna stammer, not gonna trip, not gonna stumble. No, I'm not gonna slip. No, nothing's gonna stumble my feet when I go to walk that golden street, that golden street. Not gonna waver, falter, sway or fall. Not gonna stumble or slide. Not gonna waver, falter, sway or fall. Not gonna stumble at all. Not gonna stammer, not gonna trip, not gonna stumble. No, I'm not gonna slip. No, nothing's gonna stumble my feet when I go to walk that golden street. Not gonna stammer, not gonna trip, not gonna stumble. No, I'm not gonna slip. No, nothing's gonna stumble my feet when I go to walk that golden street. Not gonna stammer, not gonna trip, not gonna stumble. No, I'm not gonna slip. No, nothing's gonna stumble my feet when I go to walk that golden street, 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 that golden street. Not gonna slip when I go to walk that golden street. Not gonna stumble my feet.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. We have a few technical difficulties, as you probably have guessed by now. You know, what always works when you need it to work doesn't always happen, so Murphy's Law is around. And I can't sing very well, and I really want to put you through that. And I don't want to dance, even though I could do that. So, if you'll bear with us, we think we've broken the code as to what the issue is. We've got it. It's working. We're good. Okay. I believe I came up here with something with that. We're a little bit off the program, but I will introduce myself. I'm Judy Allen, and have the wonderful job of being the district superintendent for Pacific West, which is the best in the West. And if everyone is ready, would you please rise for the presenting of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance? again, thank you for your patience. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you, those at Daegu, that are watching it streaming, those that are at Osan, those that are in Seoul, those that are here in Humphreys, and perhaps in Okinawa and Japan and anywhere else in the world. It's our pleasure to welcome you to our engagement review outreach. A lot of work has gone into this, and there's many, many people out there that have had a part. It's what we do here in the Pacific West. It's not my effort, it's not Dr. Erickson's effort, it's the effort of the entire school teams. We have had a wonderful week with 11 schools being visited by 19 evaluators from AdvancED. We've had the opportunity to showcase our schools and show them what we can do, and they've also had the opportunity to be part of this lovely country that we live in and to experience some of the Korean cuisine and some of the Korean sites. So it's been a wonderful opportunity for all of us. We believe in continuous school improvement. That's what we're here for. And we are delighted to have you come and spend a week with us and get to see what we actually do, because we're proud of what we do. Before I leave the stage, I would like for us to give another round of applause to the ROTC and also to the wonderful, wonderful choir that sang for us. So. To everyone that's been involved in school improvement, all the teams out there, all the teachers, all the students, all the parents, the command has been a tremendous support to us. Our commanders are either watching it via streaming or they will also see it after it's been recorded. So it's part of what we do as the Korea family. So without further ado, I'd like to turn this microphone over to Dr. Daryl Berringer, who is the lead team member, and he's here to share some information with us regarding the review.
Good afternoon. No pressure for this to be an amazing presentation after you've waited as long as you have. It's a privilege to be here, and I don't know if maybe I'm making these bumping noises. Oh, perfect. Let's do that. Okay, good, great. Well, I wander, and that would just about drive me crazy. As an elementary principal, moving targets are difficult to hit, so I've learned to move all those years. It's a privilege to spend a few minutes this afternoon to kind of tell you the story of an amazing experience we've had this week. The first thing I want to do is tell you what this is not. Because your past experience has been, this big meeting at the end is lots of details and numbers and scores. You're not going to hear that today. Today you're going to hear what we call themes of powerful themes, areas for further study, and in a short time, a few weeks from now, Dr. Allen and the leadership team will get a much more detailed report. But we want to give you kind of a brief glimpse to what we've been doing all week, and then some information that we think will move you forward on your journey. So this is our oral exit review report for our review while we've been here. And we want to express to you that not only have we had the wonderful opportunity of being in all of your schools all day long, we also had the opportunity in limited time to experience the culture of Korea. So thank you not only for making that part of what we did at the school level, but we had the opportunity to have some wonderful students to greet us and perform for us our first day. We've had Korean barbecue. We've had an opportunity to kind of go out in the market now and again. We've had a wonderful waiting for us. In our room was a kimchi jar, and inside were comments from students, questions that they had answered from all of your stakeholders inside that jar. So we have felt in the very brief time that we've been here the opportunity to experience where you live and where the host nation provides that experience for you. I'm not going to give you the advertising information this afternoon, but just a reminder that you have been accredited for a number of years. And you've been accredited from your past experience. You probably knew us as either NCA or SACS, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. That's still us. AdvancED is just the merger in an umbrella organization of all of those. But we accredit 32,000 institutions around the world, including 79 countries and the United States. And that we are looking at you in the terms of three kinds of information: leadership, learning, and resources. And this has been the hardest transition for all of our organizations around the world. But I will tell you that we are so proud of what Pacific West has done in understanding the power of continuous improvement. That I've told Hetty and Dr. Allen and Donald that I want to be able to tell other people, if you want to see where they figured it out, where they have made it part of what they're already doing, come to Pacific West. You have the disadvantage of being the first DODEA school system to have a review in the new model. But I will tell you, I wish I could tell you all the details today, and I can't, but you set the bar high. You set the bar really high. Where's Kent? And those down the way, the bars, and Pacific West has become the bumblebee. So good for you. Congratulations. I think to help you understand this transition, that you won't hear me talk much about accreditation today, because accreditation was never your goal. We have learned that accreditation is only the outcome of quality continuous improvement. So we've asked you to be about the business you should be about, which is how do we improve teaching and learning for our students. We drop in and say, what you're doing is of such high quality that you meet the standards for accreditation. So it is your outcome. We also want to acknowledge that, given where you are, that there are a number of challenges. Because if we give you feedback in more specific terms in the next week or two, we want you to know that we took into account that there are unique challenges that you face. And I want to review them very quickly with you. First of all, we understand last time we came to every school, spent the entire time on the campus, gave you specific feedback about your instructional program and the things that you were doing that were amazing, gave you some areas to improve on school by school. This time you're in a systems model. And that moving from thinking about me as a small entity among a lot to the big picture is difficult. That systems thinking is a hard transition. So we tried to give you feedback at your school level. We left cards for your teachers in the classroom. We had a closing meeting just to kind of help you know that we do care about what happens at the school level. But in a systems model, we hold Dr. Allen and her team for making sure you're meeting standard. That's what a system model does. The second thing that's pretty much a challenge for you is finding the balance between what we want you to do, what we expect you to do, and what you can do by yourself. In other words, is this going to keep you bumping? Okay, I'll move back here. In other words, there has to be some things in a system if we want to be high-quality systems that are just non-negotiable. It has to be. It can't be a system if everybody does what they want to do. So there's a balance between here are the things we should do and must do, and here are the things that we can do because we have a unique difference at our school. Here are our school goals, here are our system goals. Defining that balance is always a challenge, particularly in moving into a systems model. We also understand, I forgot to change this yet, that there's a lot of transition with families coming and going and being deployed and all those changes, that you're in a constant state of change with leadership, with staff. The idea of the one-year deployment, 2 years deployment kind of thing, just keeps a lot of change happening here in your school system. We also know that to get approved to teach or work in a DODEA school, there's a lot of background work that has to be done. Security checks and background checks. And that whole process delays people being able to get here in a timely fashion. That's a challenge. You've done an amazing job of filling in and substituting, you being in classrooms to kind of help with that instructional program, but that again is a challenge. Recruiting quality educators to Korea. Given the political climate and U.S. World News Report, people are afraid that perhaps it's not safe, or the political climate is not what it should be. So you have trouble getting people of quality candidates, then they say, oh, maybe not Korea. That's a challenge that you have. And my goodness, transformation and restructuring for student achievement, all that's going on as well. The relocation of your schools and families from Seoul to Humphreys, all those things are a stage for constant change. And we know that. Those are challenges, and we want you to know that we took that into account. I will also tell you that the team members who are here today have a combined 614 years of experience. That's 6+ centuries. And I would like for Maureen to stand, because Maureen holds 200 of those years, and the rest of us divided the rest of it up. He refuses to do it. While we were here, our responsibility was to kind of get out there, be among your students, your parents, your teachers, and gather first-hand knowledge about how you're meeting our standards. Also, taking those standards and looking at them and getting some information to give you some quality feedback to move you forward. I will also tell you that we know that we were here one day and that we observe in your classrooms for 20 minutes. So for us, it's a snapshot. We're looking through a window. We don't know what happened yesterday. We don't know what's happening tomorrow. We acknowledge that we sampled in a very small window while we were here. But I will also tell you that we were very busy. We were in 316 classrooms for 20 minutes each. That's over 105 hours of instruction that we've seen in your classrooms. I saw a list somewhere that said there were 383 teachers. And we know that many of them may not have classrooms, but other responsibilities. And we're approaching the 100% of your classrooms. The key findings, and you know that when you get your results back for Elliott, there'll be a very detailed item by item report. But this afternoon, a couple of key things that I think you'll find reported is that right away there's a rich and diverse background of your staff and your student body, and we have come to appreciate and celebrate that diversity. That's important, and there's so many changes that are occurring. We also know that you have a strong commitment to having a positive school and classroom climate. Those scores indicate that. These are the high score areas. A sense of community that's positive, cohesive, engaged, and purposeful. And everyone contributes to that classroom environment, that respect being transferred between adult and child and adult. Those scores stand out. And I will tell you, although we didn't go over every score, your Elliott scores are strong. They're strong. These are areas that come to the top. So we are very old, 6 centuries. We're older after spending 105 hours in the classrooms and riding 2 hours to Salt and 2 hours back and a train to Daegu and back. So we're a lot older. But we also want to tell you that we also talked to 775 people. This was not, hey, how you doing, how's the weather? These were purposeful interviews with specific questions. 29 of your leadership, 157 of your instructional staff members, 460 students. You're getting on up there. 112 parents, 17 support staff, for a total of 775. So I'm saying all that to set the groundwork that says we have lots of varied experience. We spend a long time in your classrooms. We talk to a lot of people. So we speak with some confidence about what we've seen as themes across your institutions. We're calling them themes for recognition. When they come back in the report, they're most likely will be what we call powerful practices. They may be embedded in the content of the report as commendable actions. But these are the things that I want to celebrate with you today, because these are the things that are going to move you forward. These are those things we'd like to recognize. And being an elementary principal for 30 years, I've captured them all with the letter C. Okay? The first one, celebrating a commitment to a culture of excellence. Nowhere have we been in this school system that people are not wanting to be the best. Not because they want the award, the blue ribbon, their name in some paper, but they want their students to be the best equipped students in the WS system. We also realize that there's a culture of continuous improvement. And I've already alluded to the fact that we think you're the model for taking school quality factor structures, taking all these things and building them into what you're doing. And what we're most excited about is you didn't just start worried about improvement because we were coming. You've been about improvement for years. You just now have a systemic way to say, how do we all move forward? Amazing data gathering structures and processes. You've got all kinds of ways in which you said, how do we know? How do we know what kids are knowing? How do we know what we should be doing? You've developed tools and instruments to do that. You also have some collaborative structures in place. Your focused collaboration model. And I've been talking with Odia for all year long, and it's in various places. You are well along in implementing that at high levels. The internal reviews that you've conducted in your schools, having your leaders and others, teachers and principals, going in and watching it, giving feedback, that's all about quality assurance. It's all about continuous improvement is how do we monitor ourselves. If we never came for this week, we know and have confidence that you would be continually improving, whether we're here or not. Clarity of the journey. If you don't know where you're going, you could go the wrong way a long time. That's not your case. You have identified, first of all, where you're going, how you're going to get there, and you're insisting that everyone go with us. And not only have you identified that journey, you have built that on the framework of school quality. I'm sure we could sing a song around clear direction, healthy culture, efficacy of engagement. I know those are words that have become part of your vocabulary that weren't here before. The final one is the fact that not only are you working on commitment to continuous improvement, celebrating your excellence, you are also building your capacity. We are impressed with how you take those resources that you have and focus them on student learning. We're also impressed with how you have ISSs and CSIs who are focused on student learning and improvement. So you've taken seriously the charge of how do we take what we have and focus on improving student learning. So I'm giving you a medal. I created this medal just for you. It says continuous improvement, and built into that is excellence, clarity, and capacity. Those are the characteristics for you. Congratulations. I'm thinking about giving Tom Brady a call in a few minutes and telling him the same thing. That's how proud we are of where you are in this process. Things for improvement. You know these best as improvement priorities or opportunities for improvement. And at this point, we're not sure where that's going to fall, but I'm going to give you two broad themes that we think will move you forward. When I talked to Dr. Allen before, and at the end of our time together, I said, "Are you surprised?" And she said, "No." Because if you've done a quality internal reflection and we've done a quality external review, we shouldn't be too far apart. We should say, you know what, it confirms where we are, and this should be for you as well. This is the best way I can think of saying it. Your responsibility is to assure that what is amazing in one place is amazing in all. When you move to system-wide thinking, there shouldn't be pockets of excellence and pockets of less than excellence. If it can be done in one school in your system, it should be characteristic of all of your schools in your system. That's what systemic excellence is all about. So you have amazing things going on. Amazing professional learning in places. Amazing teaching and strategies in those kind of places. You want to say, as we move forward, we can say that about everywhere. Because now you're looked at as a system. So no one should be less than the very best within a system. So you're going to find in the report some very specific things that will help you begin to raise the level of those areas that are not as strong to be to the same level of those amazing places. So the most positive way I can say it is what's an amazing in one place can be amazing in all, because you have the capacity. The second one, the second responsibility, is how do we mitigate the challenges while we're capitalizing on the opportunities of working with military-connected families. I gave you a list of challenges a while ago that are just there by virtue of being in this world. And when Dr. Maria Ojeda and I met with every commanding officer, we told them time and again how much we appreciate the commitment that they make to keep us safe worldwide. And the point being that your responsibility is, we can't change this, we can't change that, we can't change the ins and the outs, we wouldn't want to change that. How do we make sure that there's not any effects about that? How do we capitalize on the variety of culture that comes and goes in our schools? So take advantage, turn what could be perceived as challenges and make them wonderful opportunities. And you'll find some information in the report around that. We jumped on a train here for a couple of days, and it has been a wild ride. But I want to say that the Pacific West has truly embraced accreditation as an improvement journey. One of the things that I think is most important that's got you where you are is you didn't try to do it all. You didn't say, okay, they're coming and we got to do this, we got to do that. Your focus was on the very foundational concepts of awareness and commitment. We got to know what continuous improvement is. We got to be committed to it. And that's critical for an improvement journey. So we jumped on the train, we've ridden along for a week, and it's, like I said, it's been a wild ride. We're jumping off, and you know what? You're keeping on going. In fact, you may not even remember we were here. And the goal would be that as we engage with each other over the course of the next 4 to 5 years, that's what it ought to be. We just drop in and say, how's it going? Help you with some direction, declare it, step back out, and life goes on. It is no longer the event, the final exam that you've had in the past. I love that Dr. Allie's quote when we were here said, "You're part of our team and you're part of our journey." So for the last couple of days, we've had an amazing experience while we've been here. As we look toward the future for you, as we look at our own advanced ed processes, this is kind of the scale, this is kind of the model that we look at. Engagement is where you are. You say we're engaging, becoming aware, we're becoming committed. As you do that, your next step is say, let's implement at high quality levels. Let's fully implement the walkthroughs, implement the focused collaboration, implement your new assessments. All those things now, we know what they are, we're committed to them. Let's implement them at high levels. And when you do that, then you're ready to say, you know what? It's how we do business. They are now embedded in practice. And as that matures a bit, then you start saying, we're starting to get results. Because we've implemented and embedded it. And the dream place to be is sustainability. In the end, what we're doing keeps on going. That's a challenge for you, given the kind of ins and the outs, is that sustainability. But the ultimate goal of any continuous improvement when it's at high levels is what you want to do is keep it at high levels. So that's, as you look forward, that's your steps. I have one last comment, and then I'm going to treat you to a few minutes of what we've seen while we've been here. Winston Churchill said, now this is not the end, it's not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. You kind of have some beginning things this year. Not that you were just now starting on your journey, but you were starting to think of it in different frameworks, developing SMART goals, those kind of things. That's the beginning place for you. And I will tell you, you have started well. And the only people that will, the best ones who will win the race because you started well, sit in those desks and tables and cafeteria chairs every day. I'd like to give you just a moment to enjoy what we got to see. I'm sure you don't get the opportunity often to go to every school, spend that long in a campus, interact with that many people. So I've taken a moment to put together a visual for you, about 3 minutes. Hopefully it's going to work as we've transitioned from my computer to Google Drive. Mr. Williams, will the sound work with me? We'll see. We will try it. final comments and then just a quick one last thing. You have two responsibilities. First of all, you have to give them dreams. You have to open the world for your students and give them dreams. And once you've done that, your bigger responsibility is give them the skills to reach them. So as you move forward on your journey of continuous improvement, the bottom line is what happens every day in that classroom. And what we are doing to equip our students to live in a world that's changing every day. We applaud what you're doing in such high levels. We are excited to be a part of that. So congratulations again. Not only the amazing things that you do because we're proud, but your students one day will look back and thank you for what you've done for them. So thank you. Applaud for yourself, please. Our team wanted to just recognize that. Our team is applauding you guys. Thank you. We realize that getting 19 people here and feeding them and getting them all over the place is no small task. And we appreciate all the things that you've done to make sure we've been there, gotten there, got picked up. None of us got lost. It's not always the case with some people on this team. That has happened in the past, but we were able to do that. And we want to express a special appreciation to Donald Williams for being there to kind of guide us. Don, we have just a little gift for you, a little card. If you would you come up here so we can thank you for that. Now, Donald's a good old South Carolina boy. Me from South Carolina. He didn't want to come up here. That's what the South Carolinians like. Thank you, Donald. We appreciate it. Get to know you as well. Thank you. We have a special presentation for Hetty Flannery. Hetty, would you come on stage? Last year in May, Hetty was on our team for Japan. She was on the review team for Japan. And I will tell you, the day we left Japan is the day she started on this continuous improvement journey. And since that time, we've become great friends, and we've remained in contact. And I have extreme appreciation for what she does to make sure you're on target and moving forward and you understanding. And I know how much you appreciate that. What we wanted to do was give her a book. It's one of my favorite children's books. It's called The Crayon Box That Talked. And if you know the story, it talks about how each color by itself is rather powerless. But when someone discovers that you take all the colors and you put them together, you can create amazing works of art. That's what system thinking is. Taking all the power that every school possesses by itself and putting it in a box so that in the end your system is powerful, colorful, and amazing. We have each written personal notes inside, just like a yearbook would be. And just in case you forget us, all of our bios are in the back. So in case you forget who we are in our pictures. But I wish for you to give Hetty Flannery a big round of applause for the kind of work she's done. Dr. Arrington, is he going to close, Judy? Or do I just... Not sure? Dr. Arrington? He's pointing to Judy.
I thought I was in charge, but maybe not. I don't know.
Wow. You all have to be proud of who you are and what you do. And thank you, team. It's been a wonderful experience to share our lovely district and our lovely country with you. And I hope you take great memories home of the schools that we have and the students that you saw. I tell every opportunity that I can that if you're with the military here as a civilian or military person, you can't do your job if you're worried about your child. Our job is to provide a safe, secure environment for them where the parents know they're going to be cared for and that they're going to receive the best education that we can deliver. That's our mantra. We live it every day. And we are so happy to share it with you and to have you be part of it. So thank you for being so patient. We appreciate your putting up with us while we've been over. You know, this is a new school. I think I'll use that as an excuse. It's a new school. And we wanted to see if it was going to work. And we think we've worked out a few bugs. So thank you for your patience in allowing us to do that. And I understand that there are some light refreshments heading in the right outside. So please stop. It's been a little warm in here. There's another factor that has to be a certain temperature for so many days before they turn the air conditioning on. And I know some of you have frozen all week, but now it's getting warm. So I appreciate you for putting up with the warmth as well. But it makes you feel better as you be part of our ceremony this afternoon. Those of you out in the field, out in the world, thank you for being part of it. Thanks to all of you, and onward and upward we go. Have a good afternoon.